Hello, hello, hello. All right. So we're gonna see if cough drops help me make it through the day. Ugh. All right. Here we go. Figures. Cough drop went in. All right. Oh, wait, what? Oh, pediatric dentistry. Monday. Okay. All right. So non-farm came in. We got the double double that we mentioned yesterday. The 297 came in. I don't know. He may have said 297 yesterday. But yeah, we talked about this being lower, being adjusted down, being red, and then also the second number being red, and having that double double effect in there. There was actually an adjustment to the average hourly earnings, and we mentioned yesterday this one coming in at point 0.2, and not actually increasing. It was supposed to be, again, the expectation was it would come in as, previous was point 0.2, it was going to go up, and we talked about it coming back down. It actually didn't change. It was lower than what the expectation was, but it was still lower. And then the unemployment rate. The unemployment rate. I mentioned it yesterday that if it goes up, definitely look to see the dollar get nuked. But when you'd actually dive into it, it's funny. People are looking at these kind of the headline non-farm numbers, right? And again, the employment change, not surprised whatsoever. This little bit surprised, but it's an article. A lot of this and almost all of this is actually attributed to the auto crisis. And that's the, and then, I guess what they said was manufacturing, particularly auto, it was down or like 38,000 jobs left, but it was due to the strike. Um, as we know now, again, I think at this point, all three major people have agreements kind of in place, not officially signed, but like in place, and people are being told to go back to work. So the reality is, and again, maybe this is what the Fed was talking about. They're like, oh, yeah, labor's slowing, right? It is, but is it actually labor slowing or is it actually just the effects of a strike? And that's why it's kind of like, these numbers are a little bit artificial, but hey, it is what it is, right? CAD's data also, CAD creeped up a little bit more than expected. Pretty weak data for the CAD. But overall, I mean, even though Canadian data was weak, you can see the dollar CAD is still 100 pips down. It's because the dollar typically is the bigger swinger of those two. There's a new one. What is this? Hezbollah chief says October 7th attacks 100% talent and kept completely secret even to allies. Okay. Um, and again, it doesn't really change much in the whole, war. Anyway, as far as what we should see today, obviously tomorrow, no news. We do have ISM services coming in. I don't expect it to be a surprise dropping below 50. So it's really not going to affect too much. It'll be basically people reacting to what we see today. And like U.S. October report to mark the end of blowout payroll gains. Yeah. Entered Gaza City. Yeah. Okay. All right. So where we jump over VIX. Obviously, VIX is going down now. All the data is out. Now we got one more data release out, and then VIX should start to push to the downside. You're seeing the dollar. Dollar took a big hit, right? As it should. I mean, I don't think this is wrong. I said it yesterday. If those come in negative, you should see this thing drop to the downside. Having that double effect on payroll. Again, even though they know exactly where it came from. It's not like people en masse are losing jobs. It was an auto strike, right? That's where the jobs are attributed to, right? The 38,000 jobs lost there. So not surprised. You can see that it did a little bit of basing from yesterday, came back up, a little bit of a gap, was able to grab it. And again, overnight, it was able to go straight down. So, I mean, not a whole lot of surprises. We're continuing to see that deterioration down. All the indices, I mean, you see the Russell right now. Russell is up 2.6%. Right? That's a big move. And we said it yesterday. Anything that is really, really bad over there on that front, we should see it because, again, the Russell is the most sensitive to anything interest rate, related. And that's exactly what it is, right? This is very much interest rate related. It's hard to raise when you're like, oh my God, all the numbers are negative. But the reality is a lot of that is fake, right? And by fake, what do I mean? The reason why they're down is because, again, the auto strike out there. I don't doubt that things are slowing, but again, we'll see what the inflationary numbers have showed us that things are going up. So all the indices, what should they do today? The reality is, if you're looking at this, do you take it as a good thing or a bad thing? Overall, I would say, again, is it real slowdown? No. Will it keep the Fed from, really having to justify their stance of why they didn't raise it? It helps the Fed, of course. Of course. Is it a good thing for the economy that we're making less money, we're hiring less people, right? And at the same time, the unemployment rate, are all these positive for the economy? No, no. But right now, what are you seeing? Everything in the green, right? And again, it's kind of a, what you would expect. Now, oil. Oil is down 1%. Okay. Oil is one of those ones you can see, and we said this yesterday. Again, less people being hired, less demand on oil. And look what it did. It came right back up into that area of sellers and boom, big drop down. And again, you may say, what the heck does a non farmer have to do with this? Well, less people working, less people driving, less people needing gas, right? Unemployment rate goes higher. Again, that's a big, that's a big point on oil. And again, we are 1 month away from when, OPEC Plus is going to reevaluate their cuts. Is there any reason for them right now to reevaluate their cuts? No. I mean, are they going to suddenly produce more oil and put it on the market? I mean, the United States, the unemployment rate's going up. So the answer is no. No. So again, it looks like OPEC Plus did not have it wrong, right? Natural gas up just a little tiny smidge, right? A little tiny bit, back hiding under that, 350. Gold and silver both up right now. And I think, honestly, the both of them are justified. Gold still having a hard time with that 2,000 number, and you can see it spiked up and spiked down and spiked back up again. Again, that's how big the 2,000 number is. Overall, I mean, looking at this data right now, again, could the Fed say, oh my God, it was horrible ADP. We definitely can't do anything, right? Again, it goes back to an auto strike. So that next month, you're going to get an extra 38,000 people that suddenly have jobs again, right? That are not on the unemployment thing. What if we drop down to 3.6? It just shows you that it was kind of a fake number, right? Silver, same thing. Silver had the big spike up, a little bit of a pullback. We mentioned a nice little target over here yesterday. And what did it do? It rallied all the way down. It drove all the way down. And then monstrous rally up, right? Big, big candle. I mean, we went from 2360 all the way up to 2260 all the way up to 2330-ish mark. Right around there, right? 26s. Is it justified? Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad. Again, seeing numbers like this, right? Double, you're like, oh, you know what? We were wrong. We didn't hire as many people. We missed it by 35,000 or 37,000. And then over here, it's like, oh God, we didn't hire as many people back this time either. But they know they all came from manufacturing. It's the crazy part. And again, unemployment rate, yes, people walked off the jobs, right? And they had to lay people off, right? Because they said, hey, listen, the people that are showing up, we're going to have to lay them off because we don't have the parts and the things like that we need. Again, it's, a lot of those people wanted additional things, but it does affect other people as well that were not striking. But they had to lay them off because it's like, hey, if we don't have cars to paint, sorry, we don't need painters. We're not going to keep paying you. Sorry, got to lay you off. Again, another byproduct of striking. So, yeah, so that it all kind of did what it is. Now, again, today is obviously going to be a harder day to kind of really find much, especially an hour after this news comes out. Now, there will be reversals in, and again, we were looking for some type of a bounce, and we didn't actually get the push down. It just ended up fighting higher and then started the base below. So it ended up punching higher. I mean, this one, I don't think the Europeans were really fooled at all. They kind of knew what was coming in. And you see there's a little bit of a pullback, a little 530 reversal back up, and, hit the zone here, and then just took off. And again, I don't think it's the wrong move. Now, I do think we will find a top in this one. Let's see. How far is this spike so far? We're at a day's worth of movement already. So, dollar falls after weaker than expected job reports. I'm like, it's not that unexpected. So this is going to be the first test right here. Here's our first test. You can see it hit it, came back, hit it, and came back again. Hit it. Wouldn't be surprised, though, if we find a top in here somewhere soon. So I think the way to play this one, again, you guys all know how this works. And there's two scenarios here. One, we look for a pullback today, right? Because, again, the market was expecting all this stuff to be crappy. Or two, we hold up here, and then Sunday night becomes a short, okay? Remember, absolutely parabolic move, right? We're looking for a parabolic retracement. We need the confirmation that it's switching. Now, we're hitting one zone here. We have another zone just a little bit higher, about 19 pips higher. So they're both well within range of hitting. Are we going to retrace 70 pips back down? Not without some major comment out there. But I would be looking for, again, where these are going to reverse and where they're going to push back down. Again, the reality is the Australian economy better than the U.S. economy right now? The answer is no. Again, the resiliency in the U.S. market is much, much higher. But people getting paid less, not always the greatest sign, right? Don't love that. particularly if we see inflation go back up. But again, once all these auto workers go back, there's a whole lot of people for next month. So it's funny. It kind of meets the narrative, right? Auto workers all start back again next month. All these numbers blow it out of the water because again, the auto workers are coming back, and then you would expect almost the a similar response, right? Does the Fed raise next month because the numbers are going to be so huge, right? Could be, could be. But right now, as far as Aussie dollar goes, again, after a big push up again, we're looking for a reversal. We're in one zone right now, and you can see it's already respected it twice, and it's still trying to push through. Once it starts to falter, again, I think it's a short trade. There's about 65 pips to go. Profit taking should come in approximately right there. Okay, so got some room to run on it. Aussie yen. It moved up a little bit. We were talking about a pop up and we're like, maybe we can push over here, get some help from the yen. It ended up pulling back and kind of loading up ahead of time to punch higher. And you can see it's much, much sloppier. So again, I think it's the same. Again, we were looking for a pop from down here. We ended up getting the pop from here. Okay. So I think very, very similar. Again, we're looking for some assistance from the yen on this one. Again, the dollar yen being down where it is right now gives the yen a little bit more of a reprieve. But it's kind of the same thing. You can see how sloppy this is. One punch up and down, and then kind of a weird, kind of a not quite a doji, but not far from it. And then kind of a weird, like, oh yeah, we're surging again. Um, it's kind of there, kind of there. But I'd be looking for to figure out how to get short this one. If we look back, you can see what are we dealing with in the past. Right now, we have nothing but this. Right. So there's not really a defined level of where we could short until we get all the way up top. And you can see we got about that much more room to go. And it's about 28 pips. Okay. Um, question is 28 pips. Okay. It has a 4-hour ATR of 32. So it absolutely can move that much. Question is, under power, will it get up there enough? Right. And maybe ISM services drives this higher. Maybe ISM serve. Hey, who knows? Maybe services comes in at 49. I don't think it will, but maybe it comes in at 51 and people look at that as like, holy crap. Would that drive it a little bit further? Maybe a little bit more. And I would say that that's every reason more to start looking for shorts up here at 97.40. Okay. So I do think we are getting that territory. Now, is this one you want to hold over the weekend? No. You guys know my feeling. I don't like holding things over the weekend at all. If we got some type of, again, if we get an intervention, it's going to happen on a Saturday. All the bigger stuff always happens on Saturdays, right? If you want to invade a country, do it on a Saturday when people aren't working, right? Government can respond less, right, when they're all out golfing, right? So I think we're close. If it turns before then, honestly, wouldn't be surprised. See what we get out of services. But I do like this one short as well. And I think it's partially the Aussie, but also partially the yen. Euro dollar, again, what's it doing? It took off. You can see yesterday, we ended up getting out completely at 10:30, right? So again, little quick trade. Since that time, we put a new bottom in, right? Used it and kind of went. And the Europeans stepped into the market here, drove it higher, drove it higher, drove it higher, pulled it back, and slingshot it, and boom, higher. So we are past this level here. Right now, again, we are dealing with this. Now, we've mentioned having a profit target approximately where we're at right now. It's kind of where this top was, right? It's been here a few times. We do have a level just a little bit higher, and you can see there was kind of a decent test, right? It was an okay base. It pulled back, hit it, and then just collapsed to the downside. And that came in approximately 107.45. We're about 20 pips from that now. And again, in 11 minutes, could we get the data that we need to punch us through there? Yeah. Again, 20 pips is not that much. Is services going to be as big a deal? No, not really. I mean, services have been important. That's where people have been spending. That's the one area that there has been some resilience over manufacturing. Because again, people want to get out, people want to do things. Again, COVID's still kind of there, so people are still spending money on, services and experiences. Yeah, we could probably get. We should be able to get 20 more out of this one if services is bad. Like I said, a 49, 51, something like that. I honestly don't. I would be surprised if we can get to a 49. Showing that expansion. I don't think we're quite at the expansion, at the contraction stage yet. Sorry, not expansion, contraction. A 51 may be enough for people to look at it and be like, "Oh man, we're in trouble, right? We're gonna start, contraction." But thus far, we've been pretty resilient as far as that goes. I like that it's driving, and again, I think people are expecting bad. Even if it's the news is exactly as expected, we may be able to get the 20 out of this one and then start reversing back down again. Again, we're gonna have profit taking coming in. People are gonna settle their accounts for the day, clear them, get them off. Be done for the weekend. Um, yeah, I just rallied a little bit more. What was the last time? 635. Mm. I just I don't know if we're gonna get as much of a drop as we want, right? The non-farm today was kind of easy to grab. Today was like, let's see, only 7. So it's not even that much. It's not even that much. Like I said, we're 9 minutes from that data. Again, if we get enough of a push up, I think there's the second we get a failure to go higher, you see a color change up there. I think you pull the trigger, take this one short. I think this one will have the ability to kind of run back and retrace a bit today because I think there's a lot of people that were in on this trade. I think there's a lot of big money on it, so I think it will have the ability to retrace some, maybe not the full amount, right? Maybe not all the way back to the origin of the move today, but you never know. Maybe it does come all the way back down again. It would make for an interesting kind of washout of non-farm, right? Super strong data in one direction, then all of a sudden we wash it completely out. Everything, right? If it doesn't wash out today, I would assume again Sunday night, Monday morning when the U.S. session opens up, we kind of retrace it back again. Again, everybody still swears we're not going to hit a recession. No recession, soft landing. Everything is strong. The economy is in a great place according to the Fed. I don't think that I don't think we have too much to worry about at this point. So I think we will get a retrace. So the question is, will we get a nice little pop up in one of these two areas? Now, euro pound. Euro pound continued to drop. You can see yesterday it did kind of hit that full target. It actually punched a little bit higher. It actually did, and it ended up hitting it right around that 10:30 mark. We mentioned like, hey, listen, that 1 to 3 sometimes, kind of hard. It did turn, and it ended up punching through. So you'd have been fine anyway. But again, taking a 2.96 is fine. The 3 worked here, but why? I mean, again, it just barely hit that 1 to 3. You always want to be careful. And again, make sure you know where the profit taking needs to be done. Since that time, we pushed all the way back down again. Now, euro pound, we've had that, earlier this morning today, we really didn't have too much out there. You can see we had obviously some small preliminary payroll data, production data, Spanish unemployment. Again, nothing huge out there. Services for the pound came in a little bit better. Unemployment rate in the euro also went up. And again, I think the euro just waited way too long to raise interest rates. And I think they missed their window with, just the natural control of inflation. I don't think they're going to get up there and be able to compete with the US and like the UK as far as rates go. I don't think the new carry trade will be the euro yen. I think if anything, of all nations, I think the European Union will probably end up cutting first. Just based off of the delay that they had, the natural, kind of reduction. Again, the rest of the world was fighting inflation, and part of that benefit came from, they received part of that benefit even without having to do much. And it just, part of that was the lag from Ukraine and everything else out there. So it's pushed back. Again, I think we talked about this yesterday, seeing it kind of deteriorate, seeing pound strength come back in, the European Union being pretty weak. Now we are in an area down here basing wise. Again, I think the important thing to note here is we got we got 2 hours left to go in this market. Is there enough driving force for this to turn and reverse up again? Remember, this only has a 35 pip daily ATR, right? The zone here, while it looks like it's big, it's about 7, right? Which would require 20, 22, 23 in the other direction. There is room to run, and it would bring it right back into this zone right here. Question is there going to be enough driving factor? Typically around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, this one flatlines, and it's done, right? Are we going to be able to get much more out of this one today? I don't know. I agree with where it is. I think it's in the right spot. It's kind of where I, more or less forecasted it would be for the week, or for the, ending the week. I think it's a decent start. And again, unless we get any major news, I like to start testing new lows in this one. I think we push back down again. We've hit it too many times, and we know we have another level down here, and it's a little choppy. But I like to see this kind of start again. Maybe 2 or 3 bounces here, and then next week you start to push a little bit lower. And I think overall, I think there could be a decent buy down here at this 86.66. Okay. But right now, again, strong push down. There will be profit taking. We will start to see it hiccuping back and forth. If you did want to take it long, again, make sure you get out of this trade right here. Again, it's not a big trade. It's only 20 pips. And again, understand that there is 2 hours left, right? Euro yen, not super exciting. All right, we talked about this level. It looks like we hit this level yesterday about 9:30. We pushed back down again, and then just kind of ran out of steam. Right, started putting lower highs in, higher lows, and just started the base and went flat. And then 5 o'clock this morning, we kind of pushed back up again, and now we're having the chop back and forth from the yen, and it's a little bit weak here. Um, Again, decent area. Liked at 160. I don't know if we really kind of cleared this area at this point. If you're still in this trade now, again, you're down a little bit on there, right? Um, Again, we need some yen help. We're just not getting any yen help yet, right? Again, with the dollar yen being pushed down the way that it has, it kind of gives the yen a little bit of a reprieve, right? The BOJ doesn't have to do as much as what they think, but it's 10 pips over right now. 10 pips over that 160. Again, if this, oops, let me clear all this stuff off. Right, and 3 minutes of IFM services is not super great. I don't think there'll be much more out there that we need to worry about, right? Where's this? Marginal business activity, yeah. What? Inflationary what? Yeah, inflationary pressure at 3 years low. Yeah, I mean, again, we know why, right? We know why. Yeah, expanded workforce numbers. Yeah, business confidence. So yeah, we'll get that one. But anyway, again, this one pushed back down again. If you would have trailed this one, you probably should have got out of like a break even or maybe a 1-to-1. Um, and it may not even stop out. It may continue to push lower. But unfortunately, with the dollar yen being down, we're not getting a lot of help from the yen. The European Union was technically weak. We didn't get great data, but yet it was able to rally because again, the yen is just again, it's not a factor today, unfortunately, right? But it may come in. Who knows? Maybe services just absolutely just is the drop in the hat that we need, and we push back down again. So, but yeah, nice little roll from it. Pound dollar again. Any surprises? Nope, nope. The Europeans took it up. You can see our first profit target was hit about 11, 12 o'clock. Right, so you can take that one off the board and keep the rest of them in there. You can see we pushed all the way back up, and right now, again, we take these off because we're almost done for the week. Got a level sitting right up top. We talked about this one before. We can drag this all the way across. I don't know. Again, maybe services pushes that last little bit. Only needs about 20 more pips to go. Again, very, very big move. But the funny part is the news came in here. It had already started to move that direction from this European 4 o'clock open, but it's moved 155 pips. It's 87 pip daily ATR. So it's moved almost twice, right? Almost double. Again, maybe this services gives us that last little push. But overall, I think figuring out how to get this one short, whether it be today or Sunday when the market opens, is a good call. Parabolic move. Look for a retracement back again. I don't know. At this point, I don't think services could do much to really drive huge amounts of dollar strength in. It can add to the weakness a little bit, but I don't think. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's coming in at like 60, and 60 doesn't really tell us a whole lot, really. Um, but I'd like to see this one. And again, maybe this is a Sunday night play. So let's see. Sunday. Oops. Right there. So, kind of see where we open. And I like to see, push back down again. So again, we didn't break through all three. Yeah, that double. And again, I didn't calculate for this at all. I assumed that they would just be like, yeah, we know the auto strike people. We're not going to count that. We can't count that because that's artificial, but they're just looking at the headline numbers. So, all right, 34 seconds. Let's see what we got here. I really don't think, and what's interesting too about this, right? In this 30 seconds, the Hezbollah chief says that, we didn't know. It was 100%. It was a surprise for us. Originally Israel was going after everybody saying that, this is coordinated. Iran knew. And it's like, listen, Hezbollah is closer than Iran is for them, and they had no idea. It surprised Israel. All the intelligence, nobody had any idea. So all the intelligence, everybody over here, nobody knew. But yet the original narrative was like, oh, Iran knew. Iran planned this. Everybody's against us, right? Which is turning out not to be true. Okay, so look, 51 did come in. It's 51.8, so it's not as bad, but again, lower. And really, again, remember this one, it's 50, right? Above 50, below 50. And again, it's got a little bit of buffer. It's basically a 52, right? 51.8, but so yeah, that should help get us a little bit of a pop. Yeah, there we go. Let's see. Can you give us a little pop? Come on, hit it, hit it. But I think this one runs out of steam. It's more data people try to short the dollar. I think this one pushes back down again. So I'd like this one to get up. You can see it has not entered yet. It's close. It's real close. But overall, again, if you want to be a little bit more conservative, this one, wait for a color change, right? Wait for a red, green, red coming in. And again, you can see this turn and flip. Dollar, yen. All right, so dollar, yen. So yesterday we talked about levels up here, and you can see it hit the level and came back again, and hit it again, and was driven back down again. And now it's opened here. It's hit it, and it's pushing back. It's the same scenario. The pound is a little bit stronger than the euro right now, but right now this is all yen. This is all yen. And again, 4 o'clock was really the bottom this morning. It actually pulled back to a decent zone too. It was all right. It was okay. I would say the same thing. Look for a color change right now. Again, trading after non-farm, you're typically looking for reversals if you don't, love the setup early. Same thing. Dollar yen is down, right? Dollar yen is down 0.6%, right? 100 pips. 86 pips now, right? Down 86 pips. Okay. It pulled it away from the major target. So there's not a lot of pressure on the yen to really have to do anything right now. So, but yeah, again, looking for this. If you want to, again, drop it a lower time frame. If you see a red, green, red, you can pull the trigger if you really want today. I think I like this one more. Probably, again, I hope there's not an intervent. They don't intervene on Saturday and really screw this one up. I mean, we're back under 150 in the yen, the dollar yen. So a little bit of the pressure is off now, right? A little bit of pressure is off. So, but overall, I do think this is a little high on the curve, but I hate having to say we were on Japan. Not surprised at all. Now this one, we were actually saying, hey, listen, we could potentially get a bounce if we're coming up here for this news release today. And we ended up getting the opposite. We came down and touched it. And again, flipped this. We hit it. We went back down. We hit it again. We hit it again. It was like, oh, look at that. It's grabbing. It's pulling back to kind of that old confirmed Harry Potter level. And that's what drove it through. And I think that was actually the right call. I mean, again, I do agree with the dollar weakness today. I think, again, having that double really adds in, and then throw the 3.9 on top of it. I think it makes sense. And was kind of, is this a Canadian driven number? Absolutely not. Right. Theirs went up not only 1, but by 0.2%. Right. I mean, they're even worse. They were expecting to hire 25. They only hired 17,000 people. Right. So Canadian data was really, really crappy. I would say probably worse than ours. And yet we're seeing all this being driven down there. So again, once the profit taking comes in, we should see a turn and reversal back to the top side. So, we had called for a break of this, breaking below. Unfortunately, if you would use the upper level, great. We were like saying, okay, give us a base here, give us a base here, give us a base here. But once it started the base up top, you really couldn't use this one here. So unfortunately, you could say, oh, look, it was good. You really should have got it entered on the top zone, not the bottom zone. So maybe you guys were able to grab that one. It was super early in the morning, right? You're talking about 5 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning. But once it kind of pushed and once it based here and pushed back up again, that's exactly where you should have pulled the trigger. Okay. Not here, but based off of this zone right here. So maybe you caught it, maybe you didn't. We were talking about this one coming down. We originally had talked about, again, watch the buyers here at 136.62. It came down to 65. So we missed it by just a few pips. But I don't think this one's done yet. I think we got a little bit more room to run. I think the 63 mark, or even down here at the 43 mark, I think that could be a potential area where the profit taking really fully comes in. So again, think this is great. Again, nice little trade here. Again, it wasn't here. The trade would have been here. We were looking for the base, and the base came in. Again, there's your base. Came back up and got in there, or there. Either of those two. I mean, there's the Harry Potter trade. This was a much better entry than this one, but yeah. So, and pretty far trade too, right? It was 12 for. I mean, at this point, you're 1 to 7. So, big runner. 1 to 3 is only sitting right there. So, about the same, right? We're talking for 10 for 30, and it was 12 for 36. So, either of those would have worked just fine. But right now, again, pushing back down again. We do know we have potential buying and confirmed buyers coming at 136.16. I don't think we can get that far down. That'd be another 56 pips on top of this one. From the 5 o'clock window, it's already moved 90 pips. So it's already 13 pips over, 12 pips over a daily ATR. Can it continue on? I mean, again, if the CAD data was strong, maybe, but the CAD data is pretty crappy. So I don't think the US data is this crappy. Yeah, I think there's probably a reverse on here somewhere. If by some chance though we can touch this on on Sunday night, remember typically what we see Sunday night is dollar weakness until the U.S. market opens. If we open, say down here, let me see where it is. Three Monday would be right there. So if we open like down in here and then we push down, that could also be an area where we look for a pop. And it looks like there is, yeah, IVPMI. Speaking at 11 o'clock on Sunday night. Oh, remember we talked about the yen is coming? 11 p.m. on Sunday night. Yeah, they have Ivy. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is they're expecting a point two. Wouldn't be surprised if we hold. I'll see. And either way, it doesn't matter. We're looking for a short trade off of this one, right? Because if they raise it, this thing, you say, okay, this will be our last one. We're probably done. We're going to hold it for a significant amount of time now. That would be more of a week based trade. So I'll see this line up for shorts. Um, it's funny. That data comes out. It's like, oh yeah, yeah. I mean, we're at a profit taking spot. So as far as dollar CAD goes, I think the next thing to look for on your radar is coming down. And I don't know if we can move 50 pips today, but 136.16 wouldn't be bad. Wherever we form a base at, again, we may be able to use it. And having this Ivy data, I think again we're looking for a dollar CAD long on Monday morning, and this is at 8:30, so it'd be before that we it's before we speak. So I think there's a long getting ready to be set here. Again, we don't have the bottom yet. We'll see. We got a double bottom right now, or a double wick bottom. That mirror bottom, it should go a little bit lower. Dollar Swiss. How's that? How's that? We talk about how nice these are sometimes, and 5:30 in the morning, right? 5:30 in the morning. There's your base. There's your 5:30 reversal in the morning, and yeah, 9 for 30, right? 10 for 30 doesn't matter either way, and it just exploded down base, then went all the way lower. So I actually am surprised we blew through again multiple times through. I'm surprised we didn't hiccup in here a little bit more, right? I'm surprised you didn't get a little bit more. But yeah, so if you're able to grab it, this is what I'm talking about. How you have some easy trades sometimes with the Swiss. It's one of those things. It's like everything looks like crap, looks like crap, looks like crap, and you're like, all right, well, if we can get over to here at this time, and that then it looks good, and then you're like, wow, look at that. So over here yesterday, easy grab, 90.72, right? 61.8, drop, base, drop, came back and forth, rallied back up again, and then 5:30 reversal, straight to the downside. So easy trade. Now, again, this is a dollar Swiss. Looks really, really nice, and then all of a sudden you get this, and you're like, whoa, what is that? Yeah, here's the bottom. Then we went back up. Then we went straight back down and came back up, and then straight down and back up. And now you're like, yeah, maybe I'll walk away from this one now. And again, not the worst thing. Remember, if you were trailing this one, you were looking for a green, red, green. You had a green, you had a red, and then the green closed lower than the red. So you're like, oh, not out yet. And what did it do? I mean, you could have trailed yourself to the top of this one if you wanted to. Again, you may have gotten stopped out on the wick, depending on how close you trailed it. And then all of a sudden we drove back down, right? And we have a green, we have a red, and it's trying. But, your 1 to 3 is right there. You're at a peak 1 and 9. Even if you ran at this level, it's a 1 to 7. So not a bad little trade there. Risking 9 to take 67 in the other direction. That's a pretty big trade. But 1 to 3 is sitting right there. So out pretty quickly. So again, you're here yesterday. There you go. Like I said, they do some good things sometimes. It's one of those pairs that like sometimes it's like watching paint dry, but other times you're like, oh my god, look at that. No, look how easy that was. It's just if every pair was like this, markets would be easy. Okay. Dollar yen. No surprise, it went down. We talked about all the selling in here yesterday. Bing, 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 bing. Trying to pull up and straight down. Now, we did run through the 50, but remember, it will act as kind of a rubber band. We were maintaining high on the other side, and then we shot all the way through, and it should kind of come back again. Actually, Bollinger is probably interesting on this one. Yeah, yeah. You get that big push down, right? It goes from the top side to the bottom side of the top side, and then boom, all the way back down. And where does the middle just happen to be? Give it 1 or 2 more candles, it'd be sitting right on the 150. So, yeah, not super surprised by this guy. We mentioned yesterday being more likely short than not on this. Again, the 23.6 is not really a concern for me. I will not be surprised if we come back up and we just hover around the 150. I think that makes the most sense right now. And maybe, maybe BOJ on Sunday night says, hey, 150 is just, it's a deal breaker. It's too much for us. We tolerate it for a little bit, but that's it. We're going to put the hammer in. And they're going to start making change. And it's not even really like a standard intervention that I'm talking about. It's more the interest rate. You know, they've been at minus 10 forever, right? Even if they take that up and they make it a positive 10, it doesn't really change their position. Is it still a carry trade? Yep. Are they still the weakest? Yep. But it's just some type of action and more reason to, that there's the hold it because it's something that you never expect out of Japan. That sends this thing down. So it's almost like an intervention, right? Um, it's not the money dumping, buying and selling. It's just changing the interest rates. And it's the same thing that every other country does in the world. So it manipulates their currency. Um, if we can run all the way back down to 148, I don't know. I mean, I would take that. It's an extreme level of dollar weakness or some strong movement on the other side. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's if we can get down, we got a short. But for right now, I would expect this just to kind of bounce back and forth. I don't think it's gonna be clean. It's kind of one of these, right? I think we kind of come in here and then we'll see what happens with it. I think it's probably rather snaky back and forth. All right. Funny enough, I mean the dollar's getting blown up, and yet even Bitcoin is down 1%. Let's look at crude. So crude, a lot of volatility, a lot of chop back and forth. We already talked about this one. The reason why it dropped, obviously, less people working, less demand on oil. Um, nice run down, and at this point, we have a red, we have a green, pretty strong retracement coming back up to the 82 number, and now it's kind of driving quite quickly to the downside. Again, people spending less money on services. Yeah, it's kind of another weakness in there. Could we get down to below 81 today? I say it's highly possible. 81 is just sitting right here, right? There's your 81. Um, wouldn't surprise me. And again, this is not, speculation. This is less people are working than we thought. It's less demand required on this commodity. So, yeah, I don't think this is. I think it was the right move, and we mentioned it yesterday. It could be a great little short if those numbers come in bad, and it was. What you do with it now? Again, I think it goes down. I think it probably bases somewhere around 81. Remember, it is Friday. This market does close earlier than other markets, so it probably runs out of steam. It's probably got another 2 hours, 2.5 hours of movement, and then it just kind of like dies on itself until Sunday, until Monday morning, really. Or I guess European session. Probably start to see something. Who knows what happens with the conflict? We'll see. Natural gas or natural gas. Natural gas choppy back and forth. It is technically in the green right now. It's back up at 350. And you can see we kind of peaked yesterday, or actually this morning at about 3 o'clock in the morning. We kind of peaked and then pushed back down again. 7 o'clock window shot it down. 8:30 shot it back up again. And now we're just kind of basing in. And this is one of those ones. It's like, yeah, you're getting a lot of consolidation in here. You're getting consolidation in here. Is it priming for a big move? And overall, I wouldn't say I expect a huge move in this one. Again, the weather is definitely colder. People are not necessarily happy with the cold wind. I have friends in Pennsylvania that are like, "Up, first snowfall of the year," right? Um, it's kind of crazy to think about that when we're like, "Oh my god, we got zero snow last year, right? No snow." And now magically, it's like, "Up, first snowfall of the year." Maryland right now, 46 degrees. Not close to snow, but it's also not shorts weather anymore. It's not even like shorts and a sweatshirt. It's pants and a sweatshirt. You're wearing a jacket. People are looking at that. It's like, yeah, yeah. So again, does it deserve to be up 1%? Not really. Um, I think it probably turns and flips. I think at this point, with the weather's there, once people understand it, I think it starts to push back down again. Is there a great zone in here? Not really. I mean, you could draw something, say there's a confirmed level up top, but nothing spectacular there. Gold. Look how volatile gold is. Again, the surge up to 2000 justified 100%. I think so. I mean, with that 3.9 in there, we said, I said yesterday, if you get that double red, the double red was going to be a long for gold. Did it hold long? Was it a huge monstrous shift in policy? No, it went straight back down again, and then it went back up again, and you can see it's starting to consolidate in. Right, the tops are getting lower. We're pushing over here, and you may look at this and be like, well, look, the dollar's weak. Yeah, but if you're saying that the economy's crap, it also means it's not a pro-inflationary environment. People are getting paid. People are technically getting paid the same. They expected that people are going to be getting paid more. Um, hey, getting paid less means that you're going to spend less, right? We know consumer confidence was heading a little bit down. AC manufacturing, you're talking about job losses. Again, the job losses are fake, but I think this one continues to push to the downside. I don't think this one. I don't think it closes above 2,000. Um, wouldn't be surprised if this starts to even drop over the weekend, right? And we said it. I said it. Remember, this is a weird one, right? Um, good news, really bad for gold, but at the same time, bad news, also bad for gold, right? Unlike what it used to be before, where it was like, good news is bad news, right? Um, remember, if we don't need to do anything more, that means inflation is going to be tamed, um, and we're starting to see, the economy falter, right? That's not a pro-inflationary environment, so bad for gold. Silver doing a lot better, but again, just numbers wise, it hasn't had the flip back, and again, really strong up, push back down, really push. And again, it's you look at to see what a normal bar looks like, right? Large bar, pretty decent sized bar, and push back down again. 23 is playing the bounce card. We're at 23.06 right now. Mentioned yesterday that silver would have a big day if we had that double double in, and we did. Um, it shoots higher, right? Shoots higher. And here you go. Look, gold advances on Fed pause hopes after weak U.S. jobs data. But again, is it actually weak jobs data? When they said there's 38,000 manufacturing jobs due to the strike, and that's why the unemployment rate went higher is because of the strike. So when the strike is over, what's going to happen? Is it fair to say that, oh my God, the job market is really, really strong again? We need to start raising again? We're going to see. We're going to see. Let's see what the dollar's doing. Yeah, dollar's run out of steam. Right? You're like, why is it green? Well, it's because all the selling's already happened. People are getting out of those short trades. They want to bring it in the other direction. VIX obviously down big. It probably continues to deteriorate lower. So let's check out ES. ES has gained, and again, there's your 8:30 move, right? Since the market is opened at 9:30, right here, right? Has the market done much? It kind of went up a little bit higher. Um, Again, it's the question of, hey, listen, people are not getting paid as much. People are not as many people are working. The unemployment rate just went higher. Why is that good for the market? Answer is it's technically not, but people are so scared about the interest rate. Um, I think once it sets in that, hey, listen, services is about to go back into contraction. The unemployment rate's going higher. Again, maybe the strike helps on the side, but I wouldn't be surprised if this actually starts to roll back a little bit. There's not the fear anymore, but now the question is, if the economy's not good and inflation's still there, are we going to drive ourselves into a recession? Answer is maybe, maybe. But overall, was there anything open print wise? Again, non-farm payroll typically not the best morning to do it. You can see, let's see, 9:15 again was really just kind of holding. 9:15 went up, 9:30 went up, and now it's kind of running into a top. Again, a lot of people will take today's news as good, but if you really think about it, hey, less people got hired last time. There's less people working right now. The unemployment rate is going up, and people are not getting paid more. That ship has sailed. Um, is any of that positive for the market? No, not really, not really. Thank you. Okay, a little bit more hiccup again. 8:30 we took off. We pulled back again. We lined up again. Right. The 8:45 9 was there again. 9:15 ish was right there again. Nice little punch up. And by 10 o'clock we were already starting to reverse back. Now the question is this going to be the high for the day? Eh, eh. Oh, there you go. Look, Wall Street rises as weak job data cements rate pause bets. I still think it's dangerous because when all those auto workers come back to work, that data is going to jump in the other direction um, and get everybody up in a flurry. So overall, if we are unable in this next push, and again, we're approaching that 10:30 reversal. This actually may be high for morning. I think it probably comes back, and 15,000 is such a huge psychological level. We probably come back in base somewhere in that area. Yeah, it's fine. I don't love this one much higher. Again, a little bit more insulated, but I'm wondering if that's going to be the high of the day. YM. Oof. 8:45, 9, 9:15, 9:30, 9:45, 10. 10:15, a little bit of a pop, but man, it's struggling. Look at that. How's that for a struggle? So yeah, so there was an 8:30 pop, and then it really hasn't done much. Look at all the wicks in there. Talk about indecision, right? And it's funny. This was services data today, not manufacturing, and yet it was still. And here's the thing: YM right now weakest. It's only up 0.57. This market starts to turn negative, as again, I don't think is the wrong call. Um, This is the most negative right now. Well, it's the least positive, I guess, is the best way to say it. This should turn and flip, and again, will it open? This is where we opened 9:30, right there. That's where the market opened for the day at that price level. So technically, still green because again, it's based off of where we closed. Have you made any money if you bought at the open? Not really. Not really. If this turns negative and even just retraces back down again, it's a decent run back to the downside. Right? Russell. Again, Russell already starting to show signs of, hey, we've peaked. We've peaked. And again, maybe this is a hiccup, right? Maybe this is the impulse, the correction to punch to 1800, but all the data's out. Hey, there's not as many people working, unemployment rate going higher. And hey, guess what? You're not getting paid anymore. So, again, this one took off at 7:15. Again, you kind of knew where we're going with this. 8:30 all the way up. The open on this one, again, this is, there's the open. I said yesterday, Russell stood the game the most today. Any data that would keep them from raising interest rates would be seen as absolutely huge for Russell, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, it didn't even, it wasn't even necessarily open. It was just, hey, it started moving at 7 o'clock this morning. They kind of the writing was on the wall. People knew what it was going to be. And is it the wrong move? No, I don't think so. I mean, it's not an irrational move or anything like that. Again, Russell does have the most exposure to interest rates. It hurts the small companies the most, right? Um, but now you got to look at it and say, well, hey, there's less people working. There's less people probably going to spend money, which also kind of hurts the small guy more. So, not that I think this will be negative. I think this will remain the most positive today, unless we get a headline for something. Um, but I do think it probably pulls back a little bit. Actually, wouldn't be surprised if it does close somewhere around the open. Again, all the positives, like, yeah, they're not raising it. Everybody buy, 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 buy. All that selling should be coming back in. So, we should see it pull back down. So, yeah, I mean, I think the big things is going to be where the dollar is, right? It's kind of put in a little bit high right now. The question is, ideally, you like to see this on the other side. Will the dollar start retracing back again? This area here. So yeah, that's we're trying to. We ended up breaking through it, but we'll see if we can get a green, red, green. Okay. Crew trying to push lower. Get stuck. Trying to see if they were changing it all. Yeah, it's pulling back up. It should. Silver's trying. Silver's got to clear. Really? What's he speaking at? He's holding price down. This, I think this is going to be a decent mover. It's only 30. It's a 4-hour ATR. Ugh. I think that's going to be something to watch out for Sunday night. Kind of see where we are. Pull all the yen pairs this weekend. Make sure you kind of look at them. Oops, that one went through. Trying to pull that one off. Yeah. So it eventually it punched through the top, which is fine. Again, we had a nice little pullback down, and again, it started to form its base here. So if anything, you got stopped out of break even on that one. Maybe you took a 1-to-1 out of it. Again, it turned. It was just unfortunately right here on Friday. Again, the writing was on the wall. Too much. Again, 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hits, 4 hits. It's like, yeah, it's gonna break, and it did. There's a small position, and again, maybe that's where maybe this is where this one rolls on Sunday night. Again, I just feel like this yen thing is coming. Maybe there. Honestly, it's probably more there. Could be either one. Leave it there. 650. So yeah, I like where all kind of the yen pairs are right now. Minus the dollar yen right now, I think they're all moving in the right directions. The dollar yen is kind of hurting us right now for the yen, but again, I think this speech on Sunday night, I think it's a good one. So, all right, with that, let's go ahead and do our drawing for today. We got 3 of you in. Where's our rest of our people? I know. Tell me about it, Neuro. The cough thing? Yeah, the cough driving me nuts. Take it to 2:30, what we normally do. Yeah, and it's actually honestly, it's the cough's not bugging me, but like I'll run up and down the stairs or something to grab something for Kip, or I'll chase him somewhere, and like I'm totally wiped out. I'm trying to figure out how is it that I'm gonna ref 9 games on Sunday in the wind. Yeah, the wind is what I'm worried about. I'm like, yeah, I need to start popping some asthma stuff right now. All right, here we go. Winner of today's drawing is Neuro. Neuro took it. Neuro, you won yesterday too, right? Nope. Ernest won yesterday, and he didn't even show up today. Man, hard to win when you're not here. Hard to win when you're not here. Get your 25. Again, it is Friday. It's non-farm Friday. He may have had a great morning. That may be why he's not here. It's happened in the past. You have such a good non-farm payroll that, so it is what it is. All right, everybody. You guys all take it easy this weekend. Again, stay warm. I think we're dealing with more warm than cold at this point. Stay safe. Again, non-farm's always a weird day. We're getting out a little bit early, but that's what it is. It's hard to trade afterwards. Look for retracements. A lot of them may not come in until maybe late this afternoon or even Sunday. That BOJ press conference on Sunday night, I think, is also important. Here you go. I'm not sure 25 basis bargain. I'm not sure 25 basis points is the answer to all word problems. Yeah. Again, fix the strike and all that data is different. So it is what it is. All right. Probably cooking on the weekend. Yeah, he could be doing that too. Yeah, it's a little bit early for his again, for those of you that know Ernest, he loves his food and he does some catering stuff, particularly Thanksgiving. He does turkeys and donates turkeys and he does all kinds of stuff. Like he's a cooking fool at Thanksgiving. I think that is his biggest cooking holiday of the year, more so than like Labor Day or Memorial Weekend. But yeah, he'll be smoking like 30 turkeys this weekend or this probably 2 weeks from now. But he may have an event early now too. So getting ready, getting ready. So all right, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys on Monday morning, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Watch that Sunday night news release. I wouldn't be surprised if we get some fireworks. So with that, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys next week. Take care.